What's up, guys? It's Andrew from the Ferengies here. Today I wanted to do a longer style video, I guess a vlog, on some tips and tricks I've been figuring out for distance education. It's a wild frontier, and we're all kind of figuring it out as we go and staying one step ahead of our kids. This post is kind of more geared towards educators. There'll be some tips in here that are more geared specifically to music education because that's my specialization. But as I'm trying to figure out what distance learning looks like, here's some stuff that's been seems to be successful for me. The first thing is that we understand as educators the importance of creating a consistent classroom environment is for our kids. If they know what to expect every day when they come into the classroom, it gives them a comfortable and safe space to then engage their brain with the material. And that can be kind of challenging for us in digital learning because we have no control over the student's space at home. I have kids laying in front of their fireplace with two dogs rolling over them through my entire class. I have kids in their pajamas half under their covers. I have kids bolt upright with a desk right next, or on a desk with a lamp right next to them, like super engaged, and you can tell that their mom is like right behind the camera just staring at them the whole time. So we have no control over what their environment looks like. We can encourage them to have a good environment, but what can we do on our end to kind of foster a consistent classroom experience? And I hate to use the words branding and education in the same sentence, but what's been working for me is to take cues from some of my favorite YouTube folks. Look at channels that are successful, especially like Andrew Huang type channels, educational channels, where they have a very clear opening and ending to how they introduce their material. It can be short and sweet. Mine is even, like you noticed at the start of this video, what's up, guys? And then ending, having something that closes every single class. Mine is any questions, comments, concerns, or Q-tips. The Q-tips part I picked up from Brian Griffiths. Shout out Brian Griffiths from Corbin U. It's just something that gives them a consistent experience, something to expect. I noticed early on as my classes were just kind of, hey guys, what's up? Let's all figure this out. Please everybody mute your microphones. Quiet down, quiet down, quiet down. It took a while to get class going. But as I started kind of just snapping into it and going, not necessarily off a script, but just having that quick thing that instantly let kids know, hey, class starts now. I'm getting much better engagement and focus from the kids that are in my larger classes. Now, maintaining that focus is a challenge, and I want to talk about kind of two aspects to that. Number one, we're asking a lot of kids right now. Some of my students are having 5 or 6 video conferences a day, taking math, science, history, getting into different conversations and classes on a multitude of subjects. And like they're used to doing that on a campus and switching gears. But now we're asking them to switch gears in their home environments through a digital interface. It's making it really challenging for students. Which leads to asking them to sit down for a half hour and engage with us. And one thing that I noticed was really challenging for kids was just like keeping their visual focus if my hands were moving too much. I'm kind of an emphatic teacher. I like to use my hands when I'm talking. They go all over the place. And I noticed that the more that my hands were moving, the more and more of my students were starting to check out. It's already hard for them to be looking at the screen, and usually looking at a screen that doesn't have a great refresh rate. So just watching these pixelated limbs flying across the screen in front of them while they're trying to sometimes piece together the audio that's not coming through very well creates a really frustrating environment for kids. So I've had to focus on keeping my hand gestures small and intentional, and making sure that if I am bringing my hands into the frame, I'm using it in a way that generates interaction from my students. One of the ones that's been working really, really well for me is the thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. And I'm sure a lot of you have used that one before, but particularly in this method, it's a great quick check-in for kids on concepts and understanding. How'd that go for you guys? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. And that allows you to quickly just check your grid and see who needs help real quick. Who can I help out with this? Or do we need to go over that concept again? And that's been great. Instead of like, does anybody have any questions? And then trying to, no, you need to mute your, again, dealing with the interactive aspect, I think for me has been the biggest challenge. I miss my classroom. I miss the ability to just directly interface with kids on their issues. but having those quick check-ins and consistent experience has been really working, at least from what I am seeing. On the flip side, this is also raising a whole new frontier of disciplinary challenges. Classroom discipline is always about the kids seeing where the boundary is and walking right up to it and seeing how far they can push it until they figure out, okay, that's where the teacher's drawing the line. And again, a lot of us are really good at setting that expectation early in the classroom. And in a classroom, you can't just have a kid get up and walk out of the door. On a video call, kids can just get up and walk away, which has been one of the more challenging ones for me. You prepare a lesson, you get ready to teach, and then a kid just gets up and walks away. And as is common with disciplinary strategy, just don't address the behavior. Remember that they're looking to see what's getting a reaction from the teacher. They're looking to see how they can distract in a lot of those cases. And so I have not been saying, really, man, you're leaving your desk? Really, can you not leave? I've just been saying, oh, welcome back. And letting them know that I'm not bothered. And trying to encourage the outcome instead of addressing the behavior. Of course, there are instances where there are going to be different challenges that arise with that, but just in general, trying to remember that don't try and say, hey, man, are you really doing that? Don't address the actual behavior that's happening. Just address the outcome that you're looking to get. Oh, thank you. Welcome back. Don't focus on the negative. One other thing that's been working really, really well for me is using like the presenter or the screen share mode to try to generate interactive lessons and material for my kids. Again, it's tough not being in the classroom, not having access to all of those materials that I would typically use to create interactive lessons, especially as a music teacher. And for a minute, I was struggling to try and figure out, particularly for like my preschool and kindergarten classes, what can I do to generate an engaging 15 to 20 minute class session that they're actually excited about. And using screen sharing, and particularly using like a prepared PowerPoint slide that generates interaction between yourself and the students. Yesterday I ran a joint lesson with the Spanish teacher covering shapes. And so for my portion on the music side, I prepared a PowerPoint kind of based on those old school, like you had to guess the Pokemon characters, the shape came up, and then you shouted the character out at a certain point. And so I just took the chart tequila, and instead of shouting tequila, because you shouldn't make 3 and 4 year olds shout tequila, we had them shouting like rectangulo or corazon. And it was one of my first times trying to use that interactive screen sharing thing in a really hands-on way, and it worked really, really well. The kids were super engaged and focused on it, and really, really dug it. So I would really encourage, kind of think of your screen sharing like your whiteboard, as a digitally interactive whiteboard, and give your kids as much as you can. Something else I've been using in my one-on-one sessions is being able to share charts directly with the student and kind of mark them up and be like, oh, is this what you're looking at? Are you sure this is what you're looking at? Are we talking about the same thing? That's one of the challenges in the private lessons, is trying to make sure you're communicating about exactly the same spot on the chart in a lot of cases. And being able to screen share PDFs of my curriculum with my students has been a really, really useful tool for navigating some of those challenges. Those are just some of the things that have been working for me, guys. If you guys have any other tips or tricks that have been working for you in this wild, weird time to be alive, please leave it in the comments. Let us know. I am always looking to learn how to navigate this. Some of these are working for me. Some of the other stuff that I have tried has failed spectacularly. So if you have any ideas, let us know. Would love to hear from you. If you try any of these out and they're great or fail spectacularly, please let us know. That'd be awesome. And thanks for watching, guys. Super appreciate it. Thanks again to everybody who bought our record on Friday. Super, super appreciate you guys. That was really, really helpful for us. It is still kind of a hard time for artists out there. Still support them. If there's a local that you love right now, especially, go buy their stuff. Throw a little bit of money at them. A lot of us are hurting. And I, again, can't thank you guys enough, those of you who bought that record on Friday. Super, super appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you.